Earlier today, at approximately 10 a.m. local time, a new volcanic eruption began on France's island of Réunion, population 900,000. This specifically occurred on the island's southeast within the innermost of three collapse scarps that define this old shield volcano known as Piton de la Fournaise, which has been intermittently erupting for approximately 500,000 years. Unlike last month's eruption, which occurred to the north of its summit, this began on the very uppermost portion of its southern flank. As lava erupted 100 meters or 328 feet into the air via fountains of material, it fell back to the ground and quickly flowed down slope. Within the next 20 minutes, additional fissures opened up, moving in a western direction until more than a dozen simultaneous lava fountains were occurring across an 1,100-meter-long series of eruptive fissures. Then, downslope, a new fissure appeared, oriented to the southeast. Thus, only 4 hours into the eruption, there were 10 separate lava flows all advancing downslope to the east, southeast, or south. While it is difficult to properly geolocate each of these still advancing lava flows, the eruption so far appears to have covered an area of 0.39 square kilometers or about 96.8 acres. Clearly, both a higher rate of lava effusion and more fluid lavas than typical are erupting, hence the long and thin lava lobes thus far. I'm guessing that the lava has a composition of picrobasalt and a maximum temperature of around 1220 degrees Celsius. The less viscous, slightly differentiated magma possibly erupted back in January, leaving more primitive and less viscous melt compositions which are now erupting. I also estimate that average lava fusion rates so far are approximately 30 cubic meters per second. While I personally doubt that this eruption will maintain its strength long enough for one of these lobes to reach the ocean or even the highway preceding it, I am not ruling out this possibility either. However, the median Piton de la Fournaise eruption as of late has been 6 days in length, and while eruptive activity is decreasing, it is not seemingly decreasing as rapidly as during January's 3-day-long eruption. No one lives within the 2700 BCE collapse scarp where all of the lava flows are advancing, although it is likely in my opinion that harmful levels of volcanic gases do now exist in parts of it, hence why much of the overall volcano is closed off. Since the ongoing eruption is Hawaiian in nature, in other words consisting of gentle lava effusion and lava fountaining, there are either no ash emissions or incredibly negligible ash emissions. A great example of a VEI-0 eruption. In other words, unlikely to disrupt any regional air traffic. There were people hiking Piton de la Fournaise's summit when the eruption occurred, but thankfully no harm came to them. Now, I want to note the uppermost series of fissures. The way they curve around the summit denotes them as a cone sheet. These have been involved in several prior eruptions, as you can see by similarly trending inactive fissure segments near Piton de la Fournaise's summit. However, at the same time, there was likely a radial magma dike also involved, meaning today's eruption could technically be said to have involved 2 separate intrusions of magma. This radial dike utilized a local weak point from a prior eruption, cutting right through and even into a pre-existing spatter cone. So no, the ongoing eruption did not create a spatter cone, it just happens to be erupting right through one. While it is difficult to determine which fissure segments will continue to erupt as others become inactive, I am personally leaning towards these 2 labeled segments continuing to feed lava flows for at least a few more days. So, while the eruption plume is easily visible across much of the island, this eruption is not of any concern to those who live nearby. More information can be found on the local Volcano Observatory's website or Facebook page. As a final note, I would like to thank this channel's patrons on Patreon and channel members on YouTube.